Good morning, guys, and welcome to the Camp Financial Stock Market Update for August 16th. So there was definitely some profit taking going on yesterday in the markets. We had a pretty pretty rough day. I mean, it started off heavily down, rallied back for a while, and then dropped back down to pretty much where it opened before dropping right at the last minute into the 4 o'clock hour. So the Bears definitely had control of the market yesterday. Not necessarily that it was Bears, I guess. Could have been a lot of profit taking, a lot of bulls just locking in some profits. The S&P finished up down 0.55%, the Dow down 0.45%, and the NASDAQ down 0.66%. So not a horrible day by any stretch, but it seems we've just gotten so used to the market going up that when we see it go down one day, we think there's something going on. But kind of following in what happened yesterday, the utilities continued to feel pain. Biotech was down yesterday. Basic materials were up. The oil stocks are battling back. I don't remember if I specifically mentioned it on here yesterday, but Chesapeake Energy was one that I liked. And I probably should have bought in when it dropped back down to $5 because in the last 2 days it's up almost 20%. So I think there's probably definitely still more room for Chesapeake to run. How much? Who knows? That's kind of what this investing is all about. Nobody really knows where it's going to go. All you can do is put yourself in a position to, if it goes the way you think it's going to go, you profit, and if it goes against the way you thought, you're prepared to get out, quickly thereafter. The other ones that got beat, took a pretty good hit yesterday was the telecom services. AT&T down 2.5%, Verizon 1.6%. So it's kind of been one of the darlings this year is those two with their large dividend yields and fairly good PE multiples and ratios that people have been piling into both of those stocks. So to see them both sell off is also kind of interesting in the market. So let's actually pull up the full S&P. The worst performers yesterday in the S&P: VeriSign, tech company TJX, which is the TJ Maxx stores, Activision Blizzard, the game developer, Advance Auto Parts, obviously the auto parts store, and Lockheed Martin in the aerospace industry. So that was the bottom 5 performers in the S&P yesterday, down between 3.65% and 7.14%. Let's take a look through the bottom 20 to see if there's kind of a trend. As I mentioned, it looked like utilities got hit again yesterday, but not near as bad as the previous day. Actually, it looks like healthcare, tech, service industry, they're all three kind of about the same as far as in the bottom 20 percentages there. So the healthcare was primarily driven by biotech, the biotech sell-off yesterday. That's why they have 3 down there in the bottom 20. So let's look at the top performers in the S&P. see what we got. So we got Chesapeake Energy again, Cintas, Praxair, American Airlines, and Kinder Morgan. Basic material to independent oil and gas definitely drove the markets. Well, they buoyed the markets while the market was kind of driven down. They were the ones that helped to keep it up. And I want to take a quick look at Chesapeake again. Like I said, it had dropped down. If you look at the technicals on it, it had hit its 20-day moving average and started to bounce back. Looks like probably Friday of last week it was right on it. Monday it was started right at it, and since then it's went up. And we're talking, I don't have the numbers in front of me here. I'll see if I can pull those up on a different website. I want to see where Chesapeake was. I guess where what it's done in the last 2 days. Let's go with that. But before we pull that up, let me try and get this thing back over to the Dow and see who our top performers were in the Dow and our bottom performers in the Dow 30. And we're loading, but it's definitely struggling, so let's see what's going on. Okay, we got the Dow up, so we'll start there. There were only 6 stocks up in the Dow yesterday, most of them down. Makes sense, just based on what the index did. Bottom 5 were Johnson & Johnson, Verizon, who I've already mentioned, Travelers, Coca-Cola, and Pfizer. So again, the healthcare kind of leading the way on the downside of the Dow, just as it did in the S&P. And those were down anywhere from 0.91 to 1.6%. Top performers: Intel, Boeing, Nike, Caterpillar, and ExxonMobil, and they were up from 0.13 to 0.86%. I don't really see, there's none of them that really stick out. I mean, they were all pretty much flat, with the exception of Intel had a pretty good day. So now let me get over to Chesapeake here. We'll take a look at that. Then there's one other one I want to talk about that I'd seen mentioned. On Twitter. There's another stock that I want to get into as well. Okay, let's see if Chesapeake's pulling up here. So I'm getting the chart. While that's pulling up the chart, I also want to see the actual high and low. So I've got the 5-day chart pulled up here. Well, trying to get it to move where I want it. Okay, so Friday, so here we go. Monday, Chesapeake Energy opened at basically $5.15 a share, right around that number. Rallied straight up throughout the whole day to around $5.50. Opened up the next morning right around $5.50, $5.60, and went straight up again to, well, it hit $5.94 at one point yesterday to close at $5.91. So really, in the 2 days, over Monday and Tuesday, if you got in at $5.15 and ran it up to $5.90, you're talking 75 cents. So, quick math, 75 cents on $5, that's, boy, I'm struggling with the math this morning. It's a little less than, obviously a little less than 20% gain in 2 days. So that's a pretty good run, and it's pulling back today, and maybe maybe want to look at going forward. Once it pulls back, see where it pulls back to, try and get it back down to a solid trend line, and then maybe take a shot at it from there. Another one I wanted to talk about this morning, I seen on Twitter, like I said, was Cypress Semiconductor. It's a big one that Jim Cramer likes to talk about a lot, as far as in the semiconductor industry. Pretty good stock. I mean, they're, for what they do, I mean, they're definitely well known. They're one of the best. And what I'm trying to do here is I want to add some technical indicators to this chart I got pulled up for Cypress Semi, because people were saying, well, Cramer's saying that he sees this stock going to $15. It actually just recently broke back down below its 20-day moving average, which is not as big of a concern as the 50-day, but it's also not very far ahead of its 50-day moving average. So it's going to be one to kind of watch. I mean, it's definitely, I would definitely say, based on the technicals, I'd be pretty bullish on it. I would have been bullish on it, roughly back in March at $8 a share. It's rallied up. It did have a big sell-off in June, well, which is all because of the dividend, really. Sold off with the dividend. Since rallied back up, and it's held its 50-day moving average. Like I said, based on the technicals, I'd look at it as not necessarily a strong buy, but I would look at it as a buy for sure. Probably on a stock like this, I would have got in on one of my systems where I do technical crossovers. I'd have been looking to get in somewhere in the 1050 range back in early June. So I would have ate that sell off down to 925, but with roughly a 20% stop loss on this type of a trade, I'd have let it continue to run. It's obviously run up. It's hit 1170. It's battled back. It's dropped back down now, but it would still be up from when I would have looked at buying into it. So $15, anything's possible. I don't see it. It looks to me that it's probably going to top out, and this might be the high end at around 1150 before it starts to sell off again, and then we'll come back to it from there. But I don't like $15. It hasn't been $15 a share since early February of 2015, so we're talking 18 months since it's been at $15 a share. So that'd be one that I might buy here, but with expectations of 10 to 20% and not a 40% gain. So hopefully that helps. If you have any specific stocks you'd like me to take a look at, send me an email, chrism@campfinancial.net, or you can send me a tweet on Twitter @cmelik, and we'll take those and bring them over to the show and do a quick analysis for you on the fly, like Cypress Semi there. So that's it, guys. Take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.